Yo, yo, yo. What's happening, everybody? This is CPA Strength. I am the strongest CPA in the state of Florida. Licensed CPA, don't forget about that part. And what do? I teach the world accounting through basics, building blocks by building blocks by building blocks. Go up here and you will see the best playlist in the world. I'm not kidding. This is like like rubbing the genie. It'll make all your wishes come true. Caveat, we got passersby today in the middle of the day, but we don't care because we're having too much fun and we're loving this too much to where this is what I do. I make videos, and if someone has a problem with that, then they can just go on with their life. Anyways, what are we gonna do today? We're gonna do number 52. Can you believe we're at 52 already? I can't believe it. It's awesome. So much fun. We're gonna continue on with payroll, and we're gonna talk about weekly paycheck. Last time, 51, we did payroll, weekly paycheck, so we're just changing a couple things, but in 51, the hat we wore, we're wearing an employee hat. This is backtracking. Employee hat, you worked 40 hours for 10 bucks an hour, you made $400 gross pay, you took home $325, there was $75 in taxes that got taken out of your check, and I said, like, what happened to that $75? And you asked your boss and he said he's paying taxes with it. Is he really? What's going on? So this is the next video, number 52, to say what your boss is supposed to do. Oh, and also 52 is the employer hat. We're doing payroll, but we're doing employer hat. You got one employee, like I said, he worked 40 hours a week. He worked for $10 an hour. $10 an hour times 40 hours gave him the $400, right? This is Friday. You're paying him with a $325 paycheck, okay? So he says, what about the other 75? This is Friday afternoon. The employee goes to the boss, the employer, which is you now. So the employee goes to you. You might be the only employee of a job, so this might be both of you, so you have to wear both hats, but just saying. Alright, so but we're doing the employer now. The employee goes to the employer, he gets his $325, and he says, what about the $75? Your boss says, I'll pay that in taxes. And then your boss also has to do this this is just every week paycheck. Now this is what 51 was what the employee did. 52 is what your employer did. The boss man, who's supposedly, and you'll see why having someone on payroll is difficult, and a lot of times I believe in the future it's going to be huge in say the gigs, or just like paying a 1099 to somebody. I do have a video between W2 and 1099, but I feel that this is so hard for an employer to do that it'd just be easier to give someone a 1099. And a 1099 being there's no taxes taken out. So you're telling somebody who's taking home $325 a week, say, hey, I'm gonna do this thing to where I'm gonna give you $400 a week, and then you pay taxes later. But he's not even hearing that. He's just hearing, I get $325 now a week, and you're gonna give me $400 a week? That sounds great. And so you're thinking, why doesn't everybody do that? I don't know, because you're gonna see that the employer actually ends up paying $440 a week for his $10 an hour guy, which turns into $11 an hour guy after taxes. I jumped ahead, but let's go. This is the employer for every week. He already gave his $325 net pay to his employee, so that leaves $75 out of the $400 gross, right? And that's in taxes. That's $75 he has to pay. He has to remit this to the IRS. Alright, this 75, he has to remit that, and then he also has to remit this $40 to the IRS. I mean, he has to remit 115 to the IRS for the week. He already gave $325 to his employee, check, direct deposit, cash, whatever, and then he has to remit $115 to the IRS in taxes, comprised of $75 making the employee whole, and that $75 being comprised of 6.2% Social Security, 1.45% Medicare, and not a mandatory amount of federal income tax, $44. So that's the $75. Now, what am I on, 655? Good. So I'm gonna try to do this fast, but there's so much information. So what does the employer do? The employer has to match Social Security, has to match the 6.2%. So he has to put up, of his own money, of his own bucks, because he told the employee, look, I'll pay you $10 an hour, 40 hours a week, I'll pay you $400 a week. So he's doing that. He is doing that. He is giving $325 in net pay and the $75 to the government. So he is giving them $400, right? He is giving them the $400, but then on top of that, he's giving them 40. He's giving the government $40 more. So what is this $40 comprised of that's extra kind of that you have to give to the government? Well, you have to match Social Security, you have to match Medicare, and that's the thing. You have to match the employee's Social Security and Medicare when you have an employee. You also have to pay a federal unemployment tax. It's pretty low. I would say with a $400 paycheck, it would be somewhere around $340. And state unemployment tax in Florida for a newer business, it might be around $6. This is, the federal unemployment tax and the state unemployment tax are limits. It doesn't really end up being that much, but it could amount to a lot if you have high payroll. It's all dependent, but you always have to match Social Security and Medicare. There are limits and everything, but I just really want you to see that the other 51 payroll was from the employee side, where you would take $325 home, and then you probably don't even notice that they're taking $44.40 out for federal income tax. They're taking $580 for Medicare, and they're taking $24.80 for Social Security. You do probably notice that you're only getting $325 and it should be $400, you thought. You probably don't notice, or you might even notice Social Security, Medicare, and federal income tax. Maybe you probably don't know that this is always 6.2 and this is 1.45. And for this video, I wanted to make it apparent that the employer always matches. So I wanted to make it apparent that there's, he always matches Social Security, Medicare, and there's $40 more going in extra. So he has to take, so the employer every week per se takes this $75, takes this $40. So he takes $115 and gives it to the IRS. So the employer in 1 week has given, since we're thinking about we're wearing really the employer hat for this one. Think about it, the employer in 1 week has given $325 to his employee, and he's given $115 to the IRS in taxes. Which means he's given $440 away for 40 hours of work. All right. Not to mention it takes time to figure this out, and if you don't want to take the time to figure that out, it costs money to have someone else to do it. Not only does it cost extra money to have an employee, it costs more money to keep track of all this keeping track. So you can see why just cutting someone a check and having them 1099 is easier to some degrees. So anyways, I wanted to illustrate that That's basically $11 $11 for the employer, because you have $440 and 40 hours, $11 per hour that the employer pays. Now I wanted to show you the employee gets $325 for 40 hours. So that's basically $8.20 an hour. So where does the $2.80 an hour go? It goes to our government and taxes. That's where three out of every 10. Let's think about it. What am I saying? I'm saying it's about $3 out of every $10. So it's like 30% of your money. Employee, employer. Thanks for playing. Hope that was nice. If you have questions about payroll, leave them down below. Please like, share, comment, subscribe. Do what you do what it does. Let's get this out to more people. This is some real life stuff. Until next time, peace.